Welcome into KSL Sports Rewind, our top 25 rankings video. As always, presented by Tab Bank here on KSLSports.com. Jeff, we dove into kind of our preliminary rankings in our Friday night tailgate show. You can catch that every Friday night on KSLSports.com, also 1280 The Zone 97.5, and our pregame, postgame on 5.3. But Jeff, now we get another week of action and an opportunity for us to update. And excited to see if we have some movement this week, especially given some of the matchups that occurred last week, in particular a certain top 5 matchup.
Yeah, a lot of really good games, a lot of surprising results these first couple weeks of the season. Really excited to see how this shakes out. And Dane, a spoiler alert for anybody who wondered, yes, I did put Clearfield in my top 25 ballot this week. I'm doing everything I can for the Falcons. I hope to see them there soon.
I can confirm Clearfield got votes this week, Jeff. So, hey, congratulations, man. So excited for you. We just need them to win this week and then get a little bit more, let them creep into that top 25. But let's check out and see our top 25 after week 2, shall we? Coming in at number 25, the Desert Hills Thunder. In at 24, the Morgan Trojans coming off their dominating win over Skyview. Olympus falls to 23 after their loss in their rivalry game. Bountiful in at 22, and in at 21, the 1-1 Brighton Bengals.
Watch out for those Morgan Trojans, Dane. They competed with Ridgeline in week 1. They really took it to Skyview in week 2. Owen Gilson at quarterback, George Thurston at receiver. That's a really dynamic duo, and that Trojan defense is good. You look at that schedule, and they could rack up a lot of wins here in the coming weeks. I expect to see Morgan keep climbing up the rankings.
Yeah, if you want to hear about Owen Gilson, go check out another one of our videos. I think we'll be talking about him a couple times this week. Let's move to our next group, shall we? We're into our top 20. Coming in at number 20, the Bees of Box Elder High School with a rivalry win on Friday night. Darn those R's, Jeff. In at number 19, Springville, the Red Devils. Coming in at 18, the Syracuse Titans, who had a dominant win on Thursday night. Number 17, Crimson Cliffs, the Mustangs, in our top 20. And coming in at number 16, the Fremont Silverwolves.
Really excited for Crimson Cliffs. That's a really good team that we kind of forget about until the playoffs come around. Being down there in St. George, I don't know if it's out of sight, out of mind, or what it is, but Crimson Cliffs is really good, and they continue to just rack up wins. Look for Crimson Cliffs to be another team it's just a fixture in the rankings week in and week out.
Yeah, we got a few teams from down south in our top 25, and we had several others receive votes, just not quite enough. Football in St. George and that southern area getting really, really good. Let's go to our top 15, shall we? In at 15, Stansbury, who had a heck of a performance on Friday night. In at 14, the Alta Hawks. 13, the Lehigh Pioneers. And look out, folks. How about this? In at number 12, the Woods Cross Wildcats had a lead, then had to make a late comeback to get that win over Westfield. And in at number 11, the Tippview Thunderbirds.
Look, Woods Cross, you mentioned it. 2 really strong wins, close games that they really have come down to the wire. And Woods Cross just finds ways to win. That's the sign of a really good football team. They're still getting better. I think that's what's so exciting when you look at Woods Cross. I don't think they've played their best football, and yet here they are at 2-0. The Wildcats are for real this year.
They are, and they've got a big matchup coming up this week. When we talk about week 3, they're going to be hosting Stansbury. That's a top 15 matchup, but Jeff, that is a top matchup in our hearts. That's going to be such a good game, one that, you might be able to watch here on KSL Sports. Stay tuned to our social media, see as we get that confirmed. Let's go to our top 10, shall we? In at number 10, the Ridgeline River Hawks. Had a tight game, but they pulled away late in that one. In at number 9, the West Panthers. Camden Lapati continue to lead West strong here in the early going. American Fork in at number 8 after falling in California to Mater Dei. The Davis Darts had a nice bounce back in week 2. They come in at number 7. And in at number 6, the Lone Peak Knights.
Well, American Fork, they didn't get the win on the road at Mater Dei. That's a really tall task for any team. But they played pretty well. And Jake Madsen, he composed himself really well at quarterback. I expect the Cavemen to be a very confident team as they get back into the state. And they're going to continue to turn heads. If you weren't paying attention to American Fork in Region 3, make sure that you do, because they're going to be there at the end for sure.
Yes, they will. That's a really good team, and be interesting to see as they get to region play. They might surprise some people in that region 3 this year. Let's go to our top 5. Coming in at number 5, the Harriman Mustangs, still undefeated thanks to that arm of Bryson Sweeney, making a late touchdown throw on that one to get the win. In at number 4, Orem, dropping that contest on Saturday to Skyridge, their first loss of the year. In at number 3, that aforementioned Skyridge Falcons had a nice bounce back after that week 1 loss to Mountain Ridge, who comes in at number 2 after our week 2 play, and your number 1 ranked team. In fact, your unanimous number 1 ranked team, the Corner Canyon Chargers.
There's a lot that you can say about Corner Canyon and Mountain Ridge, the way that they've started this season, and I'm sure we will talk a lot about them. Super impressed, though. For me, the performance of the week was Skyridge, the way that they bounced back after that opening loss to Mountain Ridge. And then they take on an Orem team that, if they weren't our unanimous number 1 last week, they were pretty darn close. Very talented team. Skyridge has to come from behind. Yeah. They really had to battle it out and find different ways to win. Jagger Fountain, that defense, and the offensive line really held their own against a very good Orem defensive line. And in my opinion, that's really the name of the game in the second half, the way that the Skyridge offensive line kind of controlled the line of scrimmage. The Falcons, look, they lost in week 1, but this is a team that is absolutely going to contend for a state championship in 6A.
You know, it's interesting. You think back to last year, Mountain Ridge got dominated by Skyridge early in the year, and they really used that as to kind of build some momentum. That loss as some incentive for them to have the great year they did, made it to the semifinal. You wonder, Skyridge losing week 1, do they build off of that? Does that maybe create a little bit of a boost for that program? A little chip on the shoulder for Skyridge. They certainly played like it in that come from behind victory over Orem. You're right. Boy, we got so many good teams in the state this year. Not just our top 5, our top 10. You got really, really good teams. And even teams, they're still finding themselves here after week 2. We talked about it on our tailgate show, Jeff. There were teams that are in our 20s after week 1 last year that were making playoff runs, quarterfinal, semifinal. Still early in the year. There's a lot of football left to be played. And we're going to be with you here the rest of the way as we take you all the way to state championships right here on KSLSports.com on 5.3. And as always, come join us on our tailgate show every Friday night, 6:30 pregame. We'll take you right up to kickoff wherever you're at. And then come join us after your game. Tune into us on 97.5, 1280 The Zone, or on KSLSports.com and on digital channel 5.3 as we'll wrap up all the state's action every Friday night right here on KSL Sports Rewind. Thank you so much for joining us for our top 25 rankings video, as always presented by Tab Bank. For Vince Francis, Jeff Hansen, my name is Dane Stewart, and we'll see you next time here on KSL Sports Rewind.